And we're live, and my hair all over the place. Welcome to Writer's Life, a place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life. Where you get the truth about the writer's life. Subscribe if you haven't already. Got a little bedhead. Take a nap. Subscribe, punch the like button, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one exciting video. Dogs. All right, Gutfeld gave me this idea, but it's the truth. I happened to catch one of his monologues yesterday or whatever. I when I lived with what's her name for our second go round for I don't know, we lived together for like 3 years, I think, the second time around, whatever, before she got ready to boot my ass again. Anyway, we had 3 dogs, and they were great dogs. But one of them in particular became like my buddy. Nemo was his name. Nemo was his name-o. He was this little chihuahua, well, is that redundant? I don't know. Must be, right? He was a rescue dog, and we went to pick him up and, all those things. He was the only one of her dogs. They were really her dogs. So, but I took a, really good liking to this guy. He was the only one I helped pick up, drive out there to the country, pick up and bring home and whatever. Anyway, this dog just didn't trust anybody. Lived on the streets of Miami. I'm sure he was like abused at one point. He had the worst breath because no one ever took care of his teeth or whatever. And but he was a loving dog, really loving dog, and he cracked me up because every single meal was his last. Like he had no memory of the last time he ate. No, zero. And so me working at home at like the kitchen table, not the kitchen table, but the dining room table, because we lived in like this ranch house. Me being me, I go to the refrigerator every 20 minutes or whatever, just to look inside it and see the same nothing that was inside it before or whatever. But like you'd hear him like race into the kitchen, like, what are we eating, buddy? You having a snack? Because I want to join you, whatever. Anyway, it got to be the point where like I actually put, I think Chihuahuas are supposed to be around like 10 pounds. I think anything over that is like considered overweight. But I had him up to like 15 pounds at one point. Like when he went outside to do his business or whatever, like, and he'd run, he'd waddle. It was great. But, naturally, everybody kept telling me like my daughter would be like, you're going to give him a heart attack, and she was right, so we had to put him on a diet a little bit. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is like that guy would like just sit next to me. The other dogs would like lie on the couch or whatever, but he would sometimes like sit next to me while I wrote. On occasion, he'd come up on my lap while I wrote, not bother me. He just wanted to be close to me and, or whatever. And then, if I took him for a walk, he was a bastard. Like any other dog or any other human being, like, he'd bite your ankles off. Like you just couldn't train him, like I guess in retrospect, we probably should have, come up with the money to send him to a professional trainer, or whatever, but we didn't. Anyway, and I'll never forget, like one night, Laura was away with Ava, somewhere, probably New York City or something like that. Anyway, or maybe Florida or Cape Cod, I don't know. But anyway, so I'm sleeping like on my side of the bed alone, right? But and this was still at a point where Nemo wasn't quite sure about me yet, all alone, because all the dogs considered Laura like sort of the alpha person in the house. It was her house. She was the boss of the dogs and all that sort of stuff. It made sense. So he comes in the room, like I'm like lying there, and I can see him like looking at me, and I can tell what's going through his head, like, And suddenly he jumps up on the bed and like shoves himself right beside me, and curls up, and like I'm like trying to move him. He wouldn't move for anything. Like that was it. That was it. That was the bonding experience, like the final bonding experience. And from that point on, soon as sunrise came, like he'd run up on the bed and run up onto my chest and do this with his paws, and we'd like play patty cake with his paws and stuff like that. And he'd be like, "Hey man, what are we going to eat for breakfast, man?" Because he was from Miami. He barked in Spanish. Like, "Hey man, come on, let's go, let's get some food, huh?" It's just, yeah. Anyway, I miss that dog. Like, um, I haven't seen him in years. Like I've asked to see the dogs and stuff. I don't even get that, but I hope he's doing well because, and I would love to rescue a dog on my own, but the way I live, the way I travel, the living in an apartment as my home base, I'm not entirely sure it's a good thing for a dog. Although I am starting to consider it more and more because there are people in where I live in my complex who do have little dogs, whatever. Nobody has real big dogs, but they do have little dogs. But so maybe I'll get another one, or whatever. I'd like to have Nemo back, like while he's still alive. I'm not even sure how old he is now. Maybe 8, 9, something like that. I don't know. But I think Chihuahuas live a long time, don't they? It's the bigger dogs that don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, dogs can be a writer's best friend. You don't want anybody around you while you're writing. You don't want anybody interrupting you. You want your solitude. You just want to be alone to collect your thoughts, to get your creativity going, to speak to your muse who's out there somewhere. But you want your dog right beside you. All right, that's all I'm saying for today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow or Sunday. It's turning out like I've been putting a lot of the business end of writing. Like I come here to write, and so like I'm very creative when I'm here. And I've kind of like, it's been a month and like I've kind of like put off the business side of the writing deal. Not all of it, but some of it. So I'll probably come to you one day this weekend while I handle some business matters. All right. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll probably come to you Sunday, in other words. And I'll talk to you later. And ciao, 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 ciao.